Hi, I'm Saida Desilets, and this video explores pleasure, your pleasure, and how to cultivate a lifetime of sensuality and delight through the use of the jade egg. In the past few videos, we've been exploring the pain points that can actually slow us down when we explore our sensuality and pleasure. This video, however, I want to look more deeply at expanding our pleasure potential. Did you know that you're actually hardwired for pleasure? We all are. And the sad thing is that we've made pleasure and sexuality more of a currency or a commodity than really understanding that it's our birthright. In fact, studies have shown that our to-do lists and the things that we are preoccupied with in this world and all the stress that comes with living in modern life can actually desensitize and even erase the neural pathways that make us aware of pleasure. The good news is, if we choose pleasure on a regular basis, we actually have a practice of pleasure, which is where the jade egg fits in. Then we can actually enhance and grow and empower the neural pathways that make us aware of pleasure and make us actually feel the sensations of incredible amount of delight. When we make a conscious practice of pleasure, not only do we switch our hormonal cycles from stress mode to pleasure mode, but we actually help our nervous system innervate areas of our body that could feel like they're dead or numb into the most enlivened and sensually expressed areas of our body. That said, the act of exploring our sexuality often leads us to sex toys, and one of which I'd like to address, the vibrator. The vibrator can be a great way to enhance your pleasure, but unfortunately, if it becomes a crutch where we have to use it every time to experience a small amount of pleasure, what we're actually doing to the nerves in the pelvis is numbing them. It's too much stimulation. This is where and why I like to use the jade egg. And for a lot of my students who are addicted to the vibrator, the transition from that intensity to jade egg feels like, what? Nothing's happening. And initially that will be true because your numbness will come to the forefront. However, absolutely guaranteed, if you do jade egg practice correctly and over a period of time, not only will you re-enliven the areas that were numbed through overuse of the vibrator, but you'll actually create new nerve endings. You'll actually open up areas of your pelvis that may have never been activated before, and that's very exciting. How our culture treats the topic of orgasm and pleasure, how we go about doing our lives, actually can be a detriment to experiencing the full potential of our pleasure. What I found when women start to do the jade egg practice, they have a bit of a pushy attitude, or they feel like if they did this, this, and this, then this result has to happen, and it has to happen right away, and it has to look a certain way, and unavoidably they get disappointed. My experience with orgasm and teaching so many women going from literally no orgasm to full body orgasms, that's one of the results of using the jade egg, by the way, is that the main ingredient that they must learn, two things. One, come deeply into their sensuality, deeply feel and sense everything. This is not possible when we're using vibrators and toys and we have this attitude of push this, 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 and this and get this result. It's hard to feel when we're rushed. It's hard to feel when we have an agenda. So we have to let go of that agenda, feel deeply, and the not so subtle will reveal itself. The second piece to that that's really important is redefining orgasm. I personally thought that I had never orgasmed in my life because all the definitions I was reading weren't defining what I was experiencing. So of course I wasn't having an orgasm, but that wasn't true. And when I expanded my definition of orgasm, when I actually allowed myself to deeply breathe and enjoy whatever was emerging in my moments, then I started to realize, wow, I'm actually omni-orgasmic. I actually have a capacity for so much pleasure. There is so much more to say about pleasure and the hidden treasures in your pelvis. In fact, I've done a talk once about the 63 ways to orgasm. There's literally all these different pathways in our bodies. So if we limit ourselves to the clitoris or just the G-spot, then we're really limiting our experience. And what I found through dedicated Jade egg practice is that our own body starts to instruct us and open up and tell us exactly what she wants when she wants it. If expanding your pleasure potential is interesting for you and you want to master the Jade egg practice, you definitely want to be reading my free ebook on the Jade egg. It will give you everything that you need to get started. I look forward to meeting you, celebrating with you, and answering any of your questions over at my website, thejadeegg.com.